All right, how about these Masters odds? This from DraftKings for the outright winner, Scottie Scheffler, plus 450. Extremely short. He is 4.5 to 1, a far and away outright favorite. Rory McIlroy at 10 to 1, and then the reigning Masters champ, Jon Rahm, is at 11 to 1. How about Brooks Koepka, who was runner-up last year, is at 20 to 1. So, Eamon, when you take a look at these odds, what do you think of where Scottie's priced?
Probably fair, given that we keep hearing about how statistically he is so dominant out there. But were the greens at Bay Hill, the greens at TPC Sawgrass, they're kind of like the SATs. The greens at Augusta National, that's like your doctoral dissertation that you're doing right there. And that's a real test for Scottie Scheffler. He's passed that test before. He putted really well in 2022 when he won the Masters by 3 strokes out there, despite that 4-putt on the last green that week. Who else are we going to look at this stage? I'm sure Brooks Koepka is probably sitting at home in Florida watching this thinking 20 to 1 is an insult. And that'll kind of G him up a little bit. I was
thinking that was great value if you're seeing Brooks at 20 to 1, who was runner-up a year ago and also won the PGA last year.
And another guy I saw in there at 2200, Will Zalatoris. I think that's actually a really good bet for Augusta as well. I mean, Will Zalatoris has finished second at that tournament before he's finally physically healthy, starting to get his game and his confidence back over the last few weeks.
Seeing Jon Rahm at 11 to 1, that makes sense, defending champion. Brooks at 20 to 1, it seems like, especially last year going into the Masters, the LIV guys were grossly undervalued because of the competition concerns and what the guys were playing in their schedule coming up to major season. Clearly had no impact whatsoever with some of the top high-profile names, at least with Brooks Koepka being runner-up.
Well, there were 18 of them in the field. Only 2 of them really made a noise, and both of whom had... This is an interesting one with that argument, George, because this is the golf course where they all have institutional knowledge.
Yeah.
Particularly Phil Mickelson. Brooks had been in contention there before. It'll be an interesting scenario if any of those guys, if that competitive argument kicks in. They will play the week before the Masters, but a lot of those guys don't have the depth of knowledge of Augusta National's twists and turns the way a lot of the other top players do.
Going to give you something, and this is for the last 5 Masters champs, and I was digging into this. What type of trends or form do you need coming into Augusta? So we start 2019 with Tiger Woods. He had 2 top 10s. His previous 3 starts in the PGA Tour leading into the Masters. He had a T5 as his last one. Then he went on to win. 2020, a little bit of an odd year because it was in November with Dustin Johnson. He had 3 PGA Tour wins from June to September, carrying in that form into the Masters, and then went on to win. Hideki was the outlier. His best finish was only a T15. Hadn't really done anything in 2021, and then he won. 22, Scottie Scheffler, 3 wins, and then wins the Masters. 23, Jon Rahm, 3 wins, and then wins the Masters. So 3 of the last 4 years, guys had 3 PGA Tour wins the previous, call it, 3 to 4 months going into winning the Masters.
You're saying it's not looking good for Rory McIlroy at Augusta.
So you would like to see at least some form, because Matsuyama's the only outlier who didn't even have a contend in an event, didn't have a top 10. So you would want to see Rory or someone else have a run of a couple starts where they look good. Rory might only have 1 start left until the Masters. So if you're looking at recent history, then it's hard not to lean that, okay, Scottie Scheffler is going to carry this right into Augusta.
And we have to assume that Scottie Scheffler's confidence probably isn't going to diminish much between now and the 11th of April when he tees off in that first round. Other people are in a desperate need to build some confidence between now and then. We can also probably assume Scottie Scheffler's tee to green game isn't going to diminish at any point all the way up to the end of the Masters. The question for a lot of these guys always comes on the greens at Augusta National. Do they have the confidence there when it matters? That's going to be a great test for Scottie, but it's a great test for a lot of those guys who are contending this year.
Yeah, another man who's full of confidence is the one that Scottie Scheffler put the green jacket on last year. Jon Rahm, remember what he was able to do on that Sunday. They had to play a lot of golf, close out the 3rd round as well as the 4th round. Jon Rahm able to win his 2nd major. Final margin was by 4 over Brooks Koepka and a hard-charging Phil Mickelson. So the Masters Club dinner, and here's the menu. Got to dust off the fact that I'm a Spanish minor. We got the Ibericos, this One of the appetizers, tapas y pintos, the first course, ensalada de tanguro, and then the main course, the choice of chuletón a la parillo or rodaballo al pulpul. Pretty traditional Spanish menu.
It looks fantastic. I think a lot of those old veteran champions are just going to say, bring me a burger and a fry. But I would eat that.